Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.
Well, my next guest has developed an innovative alternative to a price comparison platform. Fiachra Ó Comhraí from Billwinner is using crowd-shared data to compile leaderboards of providers across a multitude of categories, and he joins us now to tell us how it is being used by both consumers and businesses. Fiachra, what are the factors behind why price comparison shopping has become so popular here in Ireland?
Good morning, Karl. It's great to be on the show. There's two sides. People are more conscious about the money they're spending on all of their bills. There's so many things now that are coming in as bills, even stuff that wasn't in the past. So subscriptions being added in, streaming music, streaming services, and then all of the utilities and different types of insurance, and even types of insurance people didn't have in the past, like pet insurance. So more and more people are realising how much money is going out, and it's at a time when there are more competitors coming into these markets as well. So, and even including comparison sites where people that are helping people to shop around. So people are more conscious of it, and they're hearing from friends how much money they've saved. So they're looking for the best places to go and what tools they should be using to help them do that, I suppose.
Who's checking the accuracy of the data that's been posted?
We do some validation of it as well. So we have ways of validating the users in terms of email addresses and phones, but then also technical verification things in the background. And also we have a team of people internally where we will review things if people give us prices or data that is inconsistent with other things we're seeing. We will check that ourselves. But actually the real power of it is the people using the platform are correcting it and updating their data. So we get a lot of data, and that's pointing towards the truth. We're deliberately neutral about the platforms and the comparison sites and the brokers and the providers. We're not trying to push any of them. We're trying to get the truth out there and all of the users. So if you're a user and you've a great broker that you use up the road, or a new entrant comes into the market and nobody had used them before, if you got the best value there, you tell us, and that goes up on the website for everybody else to see. Well, when you shopped around, that's where you got the best value. So it is crowdsourcing the data. And the other thing we do as well that helps to keep the leaderboards accurate is we allow businesses to make offers. So if a business wants to get to the top of the leaderboard, we have an offers area, and people can shop around and say, well, I might just go with number one, but if there's somebody making an offer, I might check that as well and see if that could beat number one on the leaderboard. So by introducing those offers, we can test, okay, is there something else better out there that hasn't actually been found by people yet? And can they actually beat what the crowd have found to be the best value on the leaderboard?
And is the platform designed solely for residential consumers?
We actually, starting off, we were only thinking of ourselves. So we were thinking, God, there's a lot of subscriptions, a lot of insurance, and different things. And we were thinking, okay, where do I track all of those things? So it was just literally a place to keep the dates of your renewals and your contracts and when they were up. But as soon as we did that, we thought, well, how are we going to get the best value for people then when renewals are up? And then the light bulb went off, and it was like, wow, well, actually we're crowdsourcing the data. So we can crowdsource it for all of the members who we have, or any visitors to the site. But that makes it really, really easy then to deal with lots and lots of categories, because we're not trying to negotiate the best deals. We're saying, well, look, just tell us where the best deals are. So we started in residential, but we also do leaderboards for businesses, small businesses in Ireland, and we do it internationally as well.
What size is the current crowd here in Ireland that's feeding into the platform?
We have a few thousand now in Ireland, and that's across mainly the residential side. So that's in all of the core categories of renewals. So home insurance, car insurance, energy bills, mobile phones, broadband, and then all of the subscription categories as well.
So how do you generate income and revenue from the service?
Because we're in so many categories and so many countries, we don't need a lot of money from individual categories to generate an awful lot of revenue. We're looking for a small bit across a lot of categories in a lot of countries. And the way we do that is very clear, though, as well. So unlike a lot of sites where you only see partners, on the leaderboards we show every single business that people are getting the best value in, but we separately have an offers tab and that's a different tab, so it's very different to the leaderboard, but you can click on that and get offers from business partners, and then we can generate income from that as well. But even within that, we're always testing the offers and saying, well, if you do click on that, is that a good offer? Because if it's not a good offer, it's not something we want to put in front of people. And ultimately, what we're looking to see is when you do click on that offer, does it beat what's on number one, the leaderboard? And can that bring that business up towards the top of the leaderboard? And that's why they're placing those offers, to make sure they're at the top of the leaderboard, because that's really where the value to businesses is and the value to consumers, and ultimately what we're about.
Just to be clear, the platform itself is free for consumers to use?
Yeah, it is free at the moment, and we want to keep the platform free for individual consumers for as long as possible. So that depends on getting as many people as possible to sign up, and especially, telling your neighbours about it, getting them up so you can see where they're getting best value for broadband or insurance in your neighbourhood or your school or whatever it is. So it's really community-based, and it totally depends on people telling their friends and family about it and getting the word out there, and then crowdsourcing all of that data.
Price comparison sites, it's not a new concept. So how does Bill Winner stand out from the crowd?
I suppose there's two things. I mean, ultimately, we compare the comparison sites. So it's meta in that sense. So we ask people, well, you shopped around. Did you check comparison sites? Did you go directly to the brokers? Did you go direct or to the providers? And you just tell us where you got the best value. So if that happens to be one big switch for broadband, or it's going directly to UNO for electricity, or if it's somewhere else for car insurance, whatever it is, we sit across all of those and say, look, whatever the category is, we only want the truth about where people get the best value. And the other side of it is then customizing that data. So to be able to say, well, look, based on someone with your age profile, or based on in your locality or whatever it is, here's more custom data based on what you're looking for in your requirements, and crowdsourcing that data. So it's actually not been done anywhere globally. It's totally new, and that it's across so many categories, and crowdsourcing across all three of those things, the brokers, directly to the providers, and the comparison sites. And that's ultimately, we believe that there will be just one source of truth globally for crowdsourced data about bills. And that's what we're doing.
And in general, Fiachra, do you find that it's easy to compare apples with apples? In that what I'm thinking here is price may not be the only concern when it comes to products like insurance or otherwise.
Very good. Yeah. That's really critical to us as well, Karl. The mission statement for us is making better decisions around household bills. So for us, that's a second difference to price comparison sites. We're really in the business of what's the best decision. So for something like insurance, we look at how likely are you to recommend this to a friend? And we specifically ask, have you had any claims experience? What was that like? So you can rank the leaderboards based on the claims experience, or based on the customer service, or based on the pricing if you want to. But really, for us, it's look, we want as much data as possible about the experience of dealing with them. So you can post up questions and get answers either from other people on Bill Winner or from brokers maybe that have some tips about how you can save money or whatever it might be. So it's all about making sure people are making the best decisions, and that is very often not about the price. And businesses like that as well. If you're a local broker and I really do my best to find the best value for people, and sometimes that means advising them to go for a lower excess charge, but it'll cost more, but that really makes sense, or whatever it might be. But people can feel that when you're looking after them. We had one broker that went in to court with somebody who had a claim on the insurance. And they just knew this person was a nervous wreck going into court, so they went that extra mile for them to go in and help them through that distress and all of that. So they're the kind of things you don't see in a comparison site, but are really, really important when people are shopping around. That look, do they go the extra mile? And we really, really want those personal experiences as well for everybody.
Does the platform also assess features of a product or service, like, say, for example, insurance, where, let's say, one policy is offering windscreen protection or breakdown recovery service, things like that?
Yeah, well, there's two things. We at the moment have a kind of a finite test of questions or a list of questions that we ask. So what we're trying to do is crowdsource the best places in every category of bill you might have. So we keep it shorter than that. We don't ask about windscreen cover. I think at the moment in car insurance, we test from time to time. Are people happier to answer a few more questions? So we keep it relatively simple in terms of the numbers of questions we're asking in each category. But the funny thing is actually the value, the top providers tend to be the same anyway. When you ask a lot of questions, we could have very different profiles in terms of car insurance even, but actually the one that provides the best value is very often the same, even if our profiles are quite different. But we ask enough key questions to find out, okay, well, for people roughly like you, roughly with your type of car, or roughly in your situation from a health insurance point of view, or whatever it is, where do people like you find the best value?
And Fiachra, I know that your mission for Bill Winner is to become the most trusted platform for decisions regarding contract renewals. How do you plan to get to that point?
I suppose the most important thing is keeping ourselves honest and knowing, look, if we're offered a deal that says, somebody says, look, I want to give you a load of money and sponsor a leaderboard or whatever it is, ultimately for us it is like, well, yeah, we could do something short term, but for us, we know the business is ruined the day we're biasing the results. So we want the honest information out there. And that depends on having as many users as we can get that are shopping around and making sure they're keeping us and the data honest and any partners we have honest. So that's really at the core of it. When we started off, we thought, well, we're going to get some businesses that invite everyone in their family to vote for them, and that can happen. So if you're a local broker, you can invite a lot of people to vote for you in the categories of insurance you're in. But actually, when they come in, those people start telling us about where they get their energy, or where they get their broadband, or where they get their streaming music, or whatever it is. So we get a load of data from that, and then that brings in more people, and those people start telling us where they actually got their car insurance or their home insurance. So it quickly starts to even out if there's any blips in terms of, a particular broker asked for a lot of votes from their customers even, that will increase for a little bit. But as more and more people coming in, and there are more and more coming in every week, we see, okay, well, if there was a spike in one category for one business, it's ironed out very quickly by the people coming in after them.
Well, if you've just tuned in, that was Fiachra Ó Comhraí from Bill Winner, and we wish him every success with the platform.
Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.